Hello, my name is Randy Forrest and I'm a horticulture agent for Pulaski County. Today we're going to be at the 4-H Center demonstration garden and we'll be demonstrating the proper way to prune peach and plum trees.
It's very important that when we're pruning anything, whether it's ornamental or fruit trees or small fruits such as blueberries, blackberries, that we sterilize our pruning shears between between trees or shrubs. And this is going to prevent us from passing on diseases or anything to the next shrub. And again, that's for anything, even lopping shears. So to do that, we want to make sure that we have like alcohol, rubbing alcohol. And what we do is take some alcohol, put it on a towel, just like this, or you can actually buy spray too. And we take it, douse it, and we clean the anvil and the blade on the pruning shears. You clean it very, very well. Then after you wiped it down with alcohol, then we go through, take another one and dry it. And again, we're trying to dry off all the wet alcohol. Now, it's very important we do this between cuts on our trees and our shrubs. But it's also very important after we finish pruning, we clean it again, but we spray it with either a mineral oil or a WD-40. And the reason being because alcohol will cause the mechanisms to rust. And we do not want to ruin a good pair of shears. So again, we have a choice. You can just use mineral oil, rub it on there, pour it on there. Especially where the connections are on the blade. And that's the mechanism for the pruning shears. We wipe it off, completely dry, and then that way we know this prevents it from rusting. A lot of people will not use mineral oil, they'll just use something as simple as WD-40, which is really easy to use because as you can imagine, you can really get in here and spray the pruning shears or whatever mechanism you're using really well, work it in, and then do the same thing. Make sure it is completely dry and it's ready to store. And so the first tree that we're going to cover today is going to be a peach tree. And the great thing about a peach tree, it's pruned differently from an apple and pears because it needs to be an open bowl pruning, meaning we need to make sure the limbs are out of the inside so sunlight can come in and penetrate the tree. And that way we also want to concern about wind flow through it. So we want to make sure that we prune this to an open bowl center. So the first thing that we're going to do is when I mention open bowl center, you can look at the limbs. This limb, for instance, going to the interior of the tree. So I know I'm going to take this limb out because it's blocking the middle part of the tree. But the most important thing is when you're pruning anything to match your pruning tool to your job. Also, when you're pruning any limb on anything, be it fruit tree or an ornamental shade tree, look for a pruning collar. It's the slight raised area right at the bottom of the stem. So when you're pruning anything, you want to prune right above that pruning collar. And the reason for this is going to callus over and heal quickly versus if you cut into the pruning collar. So that's what we're doing right now. I'm pruning right above it so it'll heal over really quickly. So when I'm looking at this tree, again, we're doing open bowl center. So I'm looking at all of the branches that are coming inside this bowl. We need to take them out. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is go through and make sure that I take out any limbs that are coming into the center of the tree, and then any limbs that are crossing over and colliding because that's going to cause rubbing, which we do not want. So again, I'm going through this whole tree and do the major limbs that are going to the interior. And after we finish that, then I'm going to start pruning out some what we call water sprouts. It's the limbs coming in off of the branching system of the tree. We want to make sure that we thin them out because this will be taking energy away from the tree and away from your future fruit that you're going to have on the tree. Okay, as you can tell, we have already pruned out the major limbs that are going to the inside. The next step is I'm going to remove a lot of these little interior branches in here. I want light and air to penetrate through this canopy of this tree. Okay, it's very important. We went through and we actually cleaned up the inside of the tree. We opened it up. We looked at all the limbs that were crossing over that were diseased and rubbing. We had taken those out. And then the major thing on any tree is, you know, it's a fruit tree, so it's going to require spraying and picking of the fruit. So if you have to spray a tree, we want to control the height of the tree. So we had to make sure the tree is growing at the height that we can manage it easily by spraying and picking fruit. So as you can tell, these limbs are growing really tall. So I'm going to take care of the height of this tree by making sure I'm making a cut to bring down the canopy height of the tree. So I'm going to go through here and bring this down to where we can actually reach it if we have to for spraying and for picking of fruit. Once we bring down the canopy of the tree, we're going to give it an overall look and just clean it up and see if we missed any of the branching. And that's it for the peach tree. Once you finish doing all the cleanup pruning work, just stand back and look to see the overall canopy of the tree. Is there plenty of light coming to the inside? Is there plenty of opening between the branching so air movement can come through? And just give it a once look over. And this one looks pretty good. I think this one looks great. I think this is enough for this year.